All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine we're detectives, and we're about to step onto the biggest crime scene imaginable, the entire cosmos. The victim? Well, it's our deeply held assumption that the universe should be absolutely teeming with life. And the mystery? An eerie, profound silence where we expected to hear a crowd. This is a big one.
You know, it all really boils down to a simple four-word question. It was famously asked by the physicist Enrico Fermi, supposedly just over a casual lunch. But don't let the simplicity fool you. It's honestly one of the most profound and maybe one of the most unsettling questions we can possibly ask about our place in the universe. Where is everybody?
And that question, that's the heart of our mystery. It's what we call the Fermi Paradox. And what it is really is this massive, glaring contradiction. See, on one hand, all the logic, all the statistics, they pretty much scream that the universe should be buzzing with other civilizations. But on the other hand, we've got our ears to the ground and all we're hearing is static. That's the case file we're opening today.
So our investigation has to start with the main piece of evidence, or I guess the total lack of it. Astronomers have a name for it. They call it the Great Silence. And it's this unnerving quiet that sits right at the center of this whole cosmic puzzle.
I mean, really? Let's just stop and think about this for a second. Based on everything we know, the sheer number of stars, the endless supply of planets, the billions upon billions of galaxies, it just feels like a statistical certainty that we can't be the only ones here. And yet, when we point our best telescopes out into the darkness and we listen, we get nothing. Not a peep. No signals, no signs, no hello. So the question is, why?
Okay, so to really understand just how strange this silence is, first we have to build the case for why the universe should be noisy. Let's look at the circumstantial evidence, right? The stuff that suggests we should be tripping over alien civilizations by now.
The scale we are dealing with here is just, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around it. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, has, what, up to 400 billion stars? And there are something like 200 billion other galaxies just in the part of the universe we can see. So you do the math, that means there are billions, if not trillions of planets that could potentially host life. The number of lottery tickets for life to get started is just absolutely staggering.
And you know, it's not just about space, it's also about time. The galaxy is ancient. It formed billions of years before Earth was even a thing. So just imagine a civilization that got a 1 million year head start on us, which in cosmic time is like a blink of an eye. They would have had more than enough time to colonize the entire galaxy, even if they were moving at really slow, sublight speeds.
So if they are out there, what would we even look for? Well, we'd expect to find what are called technosignatures, basically the cosmic fingerprints of technology. We're talking about things like stray radio signals, maybe some interstellar probes zipping around, or if you want to get really crazy, enormous megastructures, like a Dyson swarm, which is a giant cloud of satellites built to suck up every last drop of energy from a star. Things like that would be pretty hard to miss.
So we have the motive, the natural drive for life to spread out. We have the opportunity, billions of planets, and billions of years to play with. We even know what kind of evidence we should be looking for, and yet,
we find nothing. We hear nothing. Our telescopes scan the skies, and all that comes back is this profound, echoing silence. This is the core of the paradox. It's like all the evidence tells us the biggest party in the universe should be happening right now, but when we show up and open the door, the room is completely empty.
okay, so when a case gets this confusing, a good detective doesn't just stare at the clues over and over. They pull out a special tool to help organize their thinking, to see the problem from a totally new angle. And that is exactly what we are going to do right now.
The tool we're going to use is called Propositional Logic. Now don't worry, this isn't a magic wand that's just going to solve the case for us. But what it will do is give us a crystal clear map of the entire mystery. It's going to lay out every possible path to a solution, so we can investigate each one, systematically.
All right, so let's break this down. In logic, we take big, complex ideas and we boil them down into simple statements. Let's make a statement we'll call P. P is intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations exist. This is what all the numbers and probabilities seem to be telling us. Then we'll make a statement Q. We observe evidence of them.
And here is where it all comes together. The paradox in logical form is P and not Q. That little wedge symbol just means and that little squiggle means not. So it reads, civilizations exist, and we do not observe evidence of them. Right there, that's a logical contradiction. It simply can't be true. It's like saying the party is happening and the room is empty. For both of those things to be true at the same time is impossible. One of our assumptions has to be wrong.
So now that we've got the paradox formalized, our logic toolkit lets us interrogate the premises. We can actually treat each part of that statement like a suspect in our case. One of them isn't telling us the truth.
So, logic gives us three main ways we can resolve this contradiction. The first resolution. Maybe our first premise, P, is just false. Maybe intelligent civilizations just don't exist. The second resolution, maybe our other premise, the one about seeing no evidence, is wrong. Maybe Q is actually true and the evidence is all around us, but we just don't recognize it. And the third path, maybe there's some other hidden reason we can't see them, something that explains the silence perfectly.
This logical framework brings us face to face with two of the most profound possibilities you can imagine. On the left, if P is false, it means we are fundamentally alone. Maybe intelligent life is just a 1 in a trillion fluke. Or, a little more ominously, maybe every civilization eventually hits a great filter, some kind of universal barrier like self-destruction that no one ever gets past. But then, on the right, if they do exist but we just can't see them, well, that could mean they're deliberately hiding. Or maybe the universe is just too vast for anyone to cross. And this is the real power of using a tool like logic. It forces us to stop just picking our favorite theory. The real goal is to figure out which one of our fundamental assumptions about how the universe works has to be wrong to make this contradiction finally disappear.
So, where does all of this leave our investigation? Well, like any great mystery, the answer isn't simple, and you better believe the case file is far from closed. You know, our detective's toolkit of propositional logic, it hasn't pointed us to the final culprit, but it's done something that might be just as valuable. It has organized the chaos. It's taken this bewildering, massive mystery and given us a clear, structured map of all the possible solutions. We now know exactly what we should be looking for.
And all of that leaves us with one final, haunting thought to chew on. As you stare into that great silence, which answer do you think is more profound? Is it that we are truly fundamentally alone in a vast, empty universe? Or is it that we're not alone at all, and the silence we're hearing is intentional? The case, for now, remains open.